emphasize 3 rules. The first one is to put your cell phone. Okay, so here is the speaker. Eileen, hi me. You can wear many hats. You can wear many hats. Eileen, hi me.
You're going to move to China by yourself? Why? Why are you moving to China? Do you know people there? Do you know where you're going to live? Are you scared? Oh, you're so brave. Honored guests and fellow Toastmasters, leaving my home, my family home, 3 days after graduation and moving to San Francisco, that was brave. Moving to San Francisco when I was 18 during the infamous Summer of Love, that was scary. I've been following my dreams for 45 years. When I moved to San Francisco, it was the peak of the hippie era. Have you all heard of that? Yes. The hippie era? San Francisco in June of 1967 was a hotbed for free love, sex, drugs, burning your brassieres, and the anti-war movement. But I had already decided what it was I wanted to do. I wanted to see the world. So I did. I became a flight attendant, and I traveled all over the world. Then I decided I wanted to be in law enforcement, so I went through the police academy and became a deputy sheriff. You can do whatever you want. Just remember that you don't have to do any one thing forever, and you can change hats as many times as you want. Then, when I was 38, I tried being married. For 9 months, for 9 years, 2 months, and 10 days. The good part was we were homesteading, living on a farm, and we raised animals and grew our own food, so that was really good. The not so good part was being the wife. Some people should not be married, and unfortunately, I am one of those people. When I was married, I felt like a bird that had its wings clipped, living inside of a cage. So then, I started seeing myself unmarried again in my head. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to outpicture things and to see them, plan it, like Mary was saying earlier, to plan ahead and see this vision in your mind of what you want to do next. So I ran away. I got a divorce and I moved up to the mountains. I lived there for 15 years, and there was a national park there. And during that time, I wore many hats, and one of them was working for the national parks. And that's where I retired from in June of this year. When it's time to make a change, you need to research it thoroughly. Study all the options, scout it out, study it, read about it, and know exactly what it is that you want to do next. During that time that I lived in the mountains, I discovered Toastmasters, and it became a very big part of my life. I was area governor, division governor. I started 3 clubs. The part about Toastmasters that intrigued me the most was the international aspect. Toastmasters became a passion for me, and it's right up there at the top with adventure traveling. Next, you want to establish a well-thought-out plan and revise it if you have to and make a new plan, but just make sure you see all the details in your head because you might have to back up and fix them a little bit. I developed a basic plan to retire at 62, move to somewhere exotic, teach a little English, and promote Toastmasters. I started researching, and it wasn't long before I realized Chengdu, Sichuan, China was the place that I wanted to be. It was the logical choice. I love China. Chinese people embrace Toastmasters. Toastmasters is growing in Western China from 1 to 6 clubs in a year. That's amazing. And I saw an opportunity for me to give back to Toastmasters because it's given me so much. How many of you have been to Chengdu? I should say, how many of you haven't been to Chengdu? Less than half. Chengdu is known as the city of leisure. That's what they call it in Wikipedia. I have never seen a city anywhere in the world that has so many leisure clubs. In the neighborhoods that I live in, you can't walk a block without stumbling on a table with people playing card games. There's establishments out on the street with a cardboard box, or just everywhere people are playing card games. So they know how to live leisurely in Chengdu. I have to live near the water, and there are rivers running all through it. Everywhere you turn, there's rivers and bridges. Chengdu is a beautiful city. It's a perfect balance of ancient and modern. There's some really cool stuff there. And the food is delicious. How cheap. Did I say that right? How cheap. So it wasn't difficult for me to realize. Did I say it wrong? Right? How cheap. Very important. And last, you want to set a target date for the execution of your plan, but make sure you give yourself a lot of time and do it right and establish contacts. I spent 2 years planning and plotting this trip to Chengdu. First, I came and scouted it out in 2009. I visited China. I went on a bike tour of LIN and Yangshu. Someday I'm going to open a Toastmaster club there in LIN. I attended 2 Toastmasters conferences and came face to face with a lot of the delegates in the room that were there in Las Vegas and in Palm Desert. So I got to meet them there. I made a lot of connections on the internet and whatnot with Toastmasters in China. And before I moved, I joined a thing called, it's an international club in China. And so from afar, I belong to their book club and been reading their books. I belong to a Spanish-speaking club. I have friends in the bike world from the bike trip. And it's really important right here that you understand I didn't do any of this by myself. I embraced technology back in the late 90s, and I used it to my advantage. The internet is power. Without the internet and GPS, I wouldn't be standing here right now. Moving to China was easy, not brave, not scary, a little bold. So to follow your dreams, basically develop a passion, create something you believe in, make that picture in your mind, follow your dreams, make your own reality, and may all of you live long lives and wear many hats. That's it.
Thank you very much, Eileen. Could you wait here? We still have questions to you. But now, I would like to ask all the contestants to leave the room. You have 5 minutes to prepare your speech. The first contestant, LIN. LIN.
Eileen, thank you so much for wearing the hats for us. I'm sure that with the journey that you have taken us to, we have more courage to do whatever is dream of our life. So please join me to give a round of applause to Eileen. Our would like to highlight the strength by hats that Eileen wear for us. Hats, H-A-T-S, hats. H is for humor. Still remember how she tried to get married? and by the way, Mary is our keynote speaker too. And she talked about the GPS that took her here, and all the way the cast play in Chengdu. And for a persuasive or inspirational speech that I get from you, this is extremely important to break the ice. So well done, Eileen. And A, definitely for audience. She start with questions and connect us through the hip piece. I know that some of you who deny your smile, but this is your age. But not only that, and she bring us through GPS. So you know that this is a wide range of audience, and you connect to us all. Audience, well done. The third is technique. Still remember, Eileen, that she used a script. Sometimes we give a speech, we use script, but I have found that she made excellent eye contact to us, despite the use of script. And whenever she came to the point of laughter, she paused with grace and looked at you, and built the confidence in herself. Technique is good. And fourth, I don't need to elaborate, but you have the great structure, opening, body to support your elements, and then ending. Now, if I can offer you some recommendations, I will take off the hats you gave on me and give you my CAP. CAP for C-A-P. The first is to connect. You choose to speak behind the podium, which is for this particular audience, I would recommend or challenge you to turn onto the stage, because this audience like to connect. And second, you use the script, but I found that you don't need to really rely on your script. So, dispense with the script, and then you can make more connection with your audience. Now, the second is about affection, A for affection. I can hear that much of your stories and your experience, I could imagine moving from your home country to another part of the world. It takes courage. And I would like to know more about how you overcome that, especially if the purpose of your speech is to persuade and inspire. And the audience will be inspired by how you overcome the stories. Just like when Mary told us how she overcome the reflect recall, you still remember? Yeah. And we love to listen to your story and the challenging side, especially how you overcome. Put more affection in, and we will be moved to take our hats away. And finally, P is for the purpose. I found that a little bit too crammed with different purposes. You told about your experience, how to switch different hats, and the card planes in Chengdu, which end up a little bit over time by a minute. And if you can cut it short, and I would suggest you, maybe the Chengdu part can stream a little bit, and also pick one of the purposes that you choose. Inspire to wear many hats, or to support by how you overcome your life stories, and it will make a perfect speech of hats to cap. So remind your strengths of hats and put on the new cap to connect the affection and purpose. Contact.